were at home. They hosted Aston Villa. Aston Villa continued with their fairy tale story in the UEFA Champions League. A 3-1 win they got themselves in Europe. So they are still cruising. And I'm sure with this 3-1 win, they'll be riding on that heading into the second leg. But then 3 games were played simultaneously at the Signal Iduna. It was Borussia Dortmund that were held to a 1-0 draw by Lille. And then if you head also straight to the Philips Stadion in Eindhoven, it was PSV that got battered, they got whitewashed, humiliated, they got humbled. It was actually baptism of goals in that game. Arsenal winning by 7-1, and you're asking them, why can't Arsenal replicate this form in the league? It doesn't make any sense for you to beat PSV 7-1. And one of my pundits keeps saying that when you expect them to score goals, they don't. Then all of a sudden, when you least expect them to score, that's when they score plenty. Arsenal, they are just disgraceful. But I don't know who we're talking about that game. Arsenal winning 7-1 away from home. It's the highest number of away goals scored by any team in the history of the UEFA Champions League. Tells you how good and efficient they were. Under 3 SG, but they managed to score 7. And then the biggest game of the night was at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, where Real Madrid hosted city rivals Athletico Madrid. After 90 minutes, some stunning goals. I keep saying some beautiful goals, admirable goals were scored. It was Rodrigo and then also Brahim Diaz getting the goals for Real Madrid. A mere consolation from Julian Alvarez. I have my pundits here. We'll be talking about the games that happened, the starmen from the games that were played, and what we should expect heading into the second round of games. I have Delali here, and then to my extreme far left is Tiga Maulifos. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
A typical UEFA Champions League night, like a night where you'd be like, yeah, it actually rained goals across all match centers, and we really enjoyed it. You'd be hoping that the next set of games in the round of 16 first leg would also replicate what we've seen. But I don't know where you'd want to start from, Delali. Which game would you want to touch on? There were very, very intriguing games played. Arsenal, the biggest victors. I don't know if you'd want to start with the Gunners.
Yeah, I think apart from the Madrid game, Arsenal, it was not a game that were like a lot of people pay attention to. But I think the scoreline has changed a lot of things. Like nobody were expecting.
It's a crazy scoreline. 7-1.
Arsenal to go into a game for a team that struggle with goals in the English Premier League. To go and score as many as 7, with different players scoring. Only Odegaard scored 2 goals. The rest were scored by different players. Tells you how efficient Arsenal were. But it's not as if PSV has been a better side. In their last 3 games, they are yet to win.
But it's the same side that knocked Juventus out.
Yeah, but come on, it's Juventus. But PSV themselves, apart from beating Juventus, all the games that they played, they've gone ahead to lose. So it was a game that we were expecting them to lose, but not in that manner. I think Arsenal were more efficient, and they got an early goal, and they kept going and managed to win. I think salute to them, but I would also go ahead and say, come on, it's PSV.
Are we thinking this is one of the reasons why Mikel Arteta is quite adamant and doesn't want to go for a striker? Because even without a striker, where you have Gabriel Jesus out, you have Kai Havertz out, then you end up scoring 7-1, 7 goals in the UEFA Champions League away game. First, you are thinking, yeah, this is one of the reasons why the coach feels so, obstinate. I'm not going for a striker. I can still get it without a number 9.
Josiah, let me give you a 68. There's no team in the Champions League history that has won the Champions League without the proper number 9. No team.
Okay, I could go back.
Absolutely no team.
Okay.
Do you understand? It just tells you that what? You need a proper centre forward. Even in recent memory, you look at Madrid, you look at Chelsea, you look at Man City. It took Man City Haaland to win the Champions League.
It took Madrid no number 9 to actually win it last season.
Last season they had Joselu.
Okay, so there was
his goals that took them to the finals.
Yeah, against Dominic.
Yeah. So you need a proper number 9. I am not saying that Arsenal cannot go far, but they're going to get undone. They're going to go unscattered, because at the end of the day, no matter how quality you have, you need somebody that natural habitat is to score goals, and they don't have that in the squad. You realize that for the past 3-4 seasons, Arsenal have had the best of defenses when it comes to Europe, but when it comes to goal scoring, they've been lacking. I get to the point. You see, you need to have a fine balance between your attack and your defense. If you have the best defense, but you lack an attacking setup, it means that you are going to be not conceding, but you are not going to be scoring enough to win championships. And you see, the Champions League, you need goals to win. So imagine if you say that, okay, you scored 7-1, you're not going to get a striker, and they're not going to be able to get a striker because the window has elapsed. I get to the point. So, and imagine Kai Havertz is out, Gabriel Jesus is out, so they are not managing. I get to the point. When they meet quality, when they meet Madrid, which likely they are going to, or when they meet Athletico Madrid, which likely they might, do they have the full set? Do they have the skill set? Do they have the capacity? Do they have what it takes to have one over them? That is a question that I cannot answer. It is only Arteta and his Arsenal squad that can answer that question. Back to the question again. You see, I have always believed that Arsenal is not an elitist of teams.
Wow.
Let's be frank with ourselves. Arsenal is a team that I can confidently describe them as the nearly team, or a near team, because for the past 3-4 seasons they've been the most direct competitors to Man City. And when we felt, or when we thought that it is their time, it is their chance, to lay a genuine claim to winning the EPL, or to lay a genuine claim in going far in the Champions League, you see what we see.
Would you allude that to injury?
No, really? You see, the fact is that they are not scoring enough. When you expect them to bang in the goals, especially against low, teams, especially teams in the midpoint of the table, or teams that are not of the strength of Madrid, Barcelona, and the big boys, they do not get enough goals. To the extent that they sometimes they draw, sometimes they lose. And you see, it affects momentum. Imagine if you win 2-3 games on the bounce, right? And then the next games you are going to play against Nottingham Forest or Everton, and you lose. It takes away. It takes the wind out of the sail. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that yes, they had gotten 7-1 against PSV. PSV is a big club in Holland, but when it comes to international football, when it comes to the Champions League proper, PSV is a minnow. So I am not surprised that they've been able to get a 7-1, but it is not what is going to get them far. It is beating Real Madrid, it is beating Atletico Madrid, it is beating Bayern, it is beating Barcelona that is going to get you far. And are they, or do they have the potential to do that? I doubt.
I believe these comments will only get their tails up because they feel this year could be their year in Europe. Since making it to the final in the 04-05 season against Barcelona, they've never gone that far. 05-06 against Barcelona, they've never gone that far. It was actually 04-05 or 04-05 because 05-06 we saw a repetition of 05-06. So 06-07 was the repetition of the Liverpool again. But let's still stick to Premier League representatives, in the Champions League. And the first game of the day was actually that game between Club Brugge and then Aston Villa. You'd be thinking, Villa actually brought in players, to augment the squad, not just numbers, but then they are looking at quality. And again, Asensio was on the score sheet, but it's the scoreline that actually baffles me. 3-1, they won away. They won against a team that beat Atlanta home and away first.
Jose, football is a funny bit of business, right? You don't, for Christ's sake, you don't expect Atlanta to lose against Club Brugge.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. You understand? But that is the beauty of football. You understand? That is the essence of the Champions League. You see, but I am not surprised that they were battered by Aston Villa, because when it comes to the level of quality, when it comes to the level of preparation, when it comes to the level of preparedness in playing the Champions League, I believe that Aston Villa has got much more quality. Aston Villa has got much more preparation. Aston Villa has got much more, exposure in terms of, because Aston Villa is a 2-time Champions League winner. Yeah. That is history. You understand? So if you come to what they are doing, they did last season and this season, I do not, for the Christ of me, believe or even think that Club Brugge could beat them, not even get a draw. So the 3-1 is a comfortable, was the scoreline for Aston Villa, which I believe represents what transpired on the day. It's just a matter of, are they going to close shop? What are they going to do in the second leg? I believe that they're going to qualify. They are 90% or 80% done when it comes to getting to the quarterfinals. But you see, one thing that I have realized with these mid-table teams nowadays is the fact that they are able to attract quality. Quality that hitherto would have been going to Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal. are now finding themselves at Newcastle, at West Ham, at Everton, at Aston Villa, because under normal circumstances you don't see Marco Asensio at Aston Villa.
No, not at all.
No, you understand? You don't see
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford at Aston Villa. So it tells you that the monetary what's the word? There's more incentive. I want the monetary distribution in the EPL is helping a lot of clubs. You understand? Because they get a lot of money. And you see, Aston Villa can go into the market and compete with Barcelona for players.
Yeah.
Newcastle can go to the market and compete and beat clubs like Bayern, clubs like Inter Milan, Juventus, AC Milan, and get players out of them. There's no way that you're going to tell me that Newcastle or Aston Villa or West Ham is going to go into the market and then beat AC Milan when it comes to player acquisition. But today it's happening. So you see, it translates into what is happening in Europe. We saw Brighton.
Yeah.
We have seen Leicester. We have seen Newcastle. Now we see Aston Villa. So I can say that it is not only about the quality that they have, but the fact that they are now attractive. The attractiveness is making it possible for them to attract top-notch quality all around Europe from big clubs. So yes, it's going to help them, not only Aston Villa, but the club. You look at what Nottingham Forest is doing this season. So imagine if Nottingham Forest
they could be in the same situation. They also have the pedigree. They've won.
You understand? And they are buying quality. Yeah, so it is funny how a couple of seasons ago it is only Spanish clubs that are dominating in Europe. But for the past 2-3 seasons, you realize that the English clubs are also doing very well. And not only the big guns, but you talk about the mid-table clubs that have been able to sneak into the Champions League spots. They're also doing well when it comes to Europe. So I think that it helps not only the clubs themselves, but the image of English football as well.
Wow, but then the other game that I think would also be of interest was at the Signal Iduna, Dortmund. You were thinking that, yeah, we've seen home teams with exception. Okay, we've seen 2 away teams actually win tonight. We saw Aston Villa, we've also seen Arsenal win. But you'd be thinking, at least with that home crowd, that should have translated into at least a win for them. But unfortunately, they ended up drawing 1-0.
Yeah, very bad results, in my opinion, with respect to Dortmund. Because it's a game that at least one day playing at home, you expect them to win. In as much as I think Lille has been an excellent team this season, their last 3 games, they lost I think only 1 game in their last 3 games. And I think they placed face in their French League. Clearly tells you that this season, they've been a very better side. So it's not as if it's going to be a game where Dortmund is just going to walk over them. But at the end of the day, you are playing at home. You're playing at the Signal Iduna Park. You expect Dortmund to at least, this is a game, a Champions League now, you expect them to dominate, you expect them to show up and play some good football. But there has been crowds of Dortmund. They've been a bit on and off. I think this season too, they've not been vintage. They've had some games that you expect them to win and they end up losing. And I think it was a game that was more who wants it the most in how they play towards in the qualifiers too. When they play the groups, we see that Dortmund, in as much as they won and qualified, they've been on as vintage as it has been. I'm pretty much in some way a bit disappointed in the Dortmund's performance, obviously. But I'm also going to say salutes to Lille because if you check their recent performance, there was a clear indication of how they've been. And I think they showed up. They didn't show enough respect to Dortmund. They did what they had to do first. Keep the game to them. Try everything possible not to be intimidated. Get a good result so that when you go away, because it will be a bit surprising that you'll be able to knock out Dortmund in the Champions League. And it's possible because at this point, they've gone away to get a draw. They come home and they get at least a 1-0 victory. It's in their favor. So salute to them for such a good result. But Dortmund will look at this end. It will look like a defeat for them.
We'll be taking a look at what teams you think could pair the results we've witnessed today. Then which teams have a higher chance of making it to the next round. But the biggest one of the round, even considering the games that have not been played yet, was the Real Madrid Athletico game. There's Bayern Leverkusen, which is quite big. There's PSG Liverpool as well. But everyone will tell you it's the Real Madrid Athletico game. That's the biggest of the round. Now, it was a 2-1 win for Real Madrid, a team that has really lost, its form domestically. We've not really seen what they're doing domestic. And in the past 5 or 6 weeks, they've relinquished an 8-point lead between themselves and Barcelona. Barcelona now usurping them into top spot. Foz, I'm not sure you were surprised by the scoreline and what actually happened throughout the game.
No, I was not surprised, but you see, it is of much bigger note for Atletico Madrid to not have won this match. You understand? Because I believe that per what the data shows us, prior to the start of this game, Atletico Madrid had the upper hand. But you see, when it comes to derbies like this, you would have to look at a much more bigger history or much more bigger data set. And you see, when you talk about Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, I have indicated earlier on countless occasions as there's a bit of a hegemony. There's a bit of inferiority complex when it comes to Atletico Madrid. They feel like there's a genes that had to be broken. It's not about winning a couple of times against Madrid, but continuously on a continual basis, they've not had that mindset, that confidence that they could beat Real Madrid. Even if they played very well, you understand? They lack that urge. It's like getting over the edge. You understand? They try as much as possible. They get to the edge, right? But to get over the edge becomes a problem. It becomes the biggest problem that they have. And you see, in the first half, they were totally marvelous. They controlled the game. They were able to assert their directness. They were able to assert their dominance. Then we come into the second half where they were shambolic. You understand? I mean, they were poor. You see, there's a difference between holding the ball and using it. Like my brother did say, you have to be efficient. You have to be effective. You have to be practical. You have to be frugal. Right? When you're playing against Real Madrid, because Real Madrid doesn't care how many times you have the ball. At the end of the day, when they have it, they know what they are going to do. And you see, Real Madrid is more. I see, for the past 15 years, there's no season that Real Madrid had been the best team. Absolutely no season. But in that 15 years, they won the Champions League like 7 times.
Yeah.
You see, you don't need to be exceptional to win trophies, but the consistency with which they do it
makes them exceptional.
Makes them exceptional. You understand? Because you see, even when Bayern was dominant, they could not win back to back. They could not even win twice.
Talk about Barcelona.
When Barcelona was dominant, you understand? For 4 or 5 years, you could practically say that Barcelona was the best team in Europe and in the world, but they could not even win twice on the row. But Madrid. So there's this nuance about Madrid. It's more like, okay, we know how to do it.
Someone said the Real Madrid I think it's going that
No, I wouldn't doubt. You see, the reason why I'm saying that I wouldn't doubt. The reason why I'm saying that I wouldn't doubt is the fact that they were in the wilderness from 2002 after they won it with Zidane's goal.
Yeah.
The best they had ever achieved after 2002 and after winning their 8th Champions League.
The 9th in 2002.
No, the 8th.
Okay, so that was
because after 2002,
they had won 9.
They had won 9. Thank you. They had won 9.
Yeah.
They had won 9. And the best they ever went to was the quarterfinals.
That was a year after.
You understand? And it took, I think 2010,
10-11
when Mourinho came for them to go to the semis.
Yeah.
And for 3 consecutive seasons, they were in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
That was when they broke their jeans. They realized that, no, we can do it again. You understand? And from that time to now, they had won how many? 6. You understand? And within that span, Bayern had won twice. Barca had won twice.
Yeah.
So it just tells you the difference in mentality, the gulf when it comes to what these people are thinking. You understand? You don't necessarily have to be the best. So far as you are efficient, so far as you know what you are doing, and so far as you are bringing the trophy home, you are good to go. It doesn't matter whether you are playing beautiful football or not.
Interesting. Delali, what's your take on the Madrid game? It's a game with so much,
I think
quality.
Atletico will look at the results and be disappointed because going into the game, they were the better team. Everybody has said that if you are looking for the perfect time, Atletico will beat Real Madrid this time around.
Madrid were there for the taking.
Yes, exactly. They had a lot of injuries. Players were not fit playing. Even those that were going to start were players that were not fit playing, players in and out of position. But at the end, it came. First half, Rodrigo scored a brilliant goal by no fault of anybody. They reacted very well. They got the equalizer in the first half. Second half, they came in. Were all over the place.
Wow.
The second half was very, very bad. For me, I watched the game and I was a bit disappointed because they were not efficient. They were just all over the place. Real Madrid were not possessing the ball, but when they have the ball, they know what to do. And on the day that their best players were not even their best players in the game, they ended up winning. Then it means that when they wake up and the players are performing well,
Interesting. Quickly, let's look at the teams that could, make it into the next round. I don't think we can talk about the Arsenal game. It wouldn't be fair to talk about the Arsenal game. A 6-point, margin. It would be very unfair to talk about the Arsenal game. But perhaps we can look at the Borussia Dortmund game and say, yeah, maybe it's quite open heading into the second leg, I guess. But I don't know which team you think you just stick your neck out and say are going to win force.
After Nuri Sahin was sacked by Dortmund, I felt that they were going to have a 10 of season around him. But they've not been able to put it. Do you know Dortmund is a big club?
Yeah, of course, they're a big club.
They don't behave as if they are a big club. Because they cannot.
I think they are the Tottenham in Germany.
Exact simile. No, seriously. No. See. No, Dela. No, it is fair. It is fair. No, see, it is fair. It is fair because they have described themselves as inferior to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I get the point. And you are in the league competing with Bayern Munich. And as I speak with you right now, they are not even comparing themselves to Bayern Munich no more, because Bayern Leverkusen has leapfrogged them. You get the point. You see, if you only groom to sell, but you're not buying quality, because since Haaland left, they hadn't had a proper replacement. You understand? I mean, they went in for Haaland, it didn't work. Now they've gone in for what's the name? Guirassy. Is he a top striker? I doubt. You understand? So you need to invest in quality.
But you think with what they have currently, they are going through, will you give them a chance to go through?
It's going to be a 50-50 game. You understand? Lyon is not functioning at the highest level.
Okay.
But you see, this is a knockout game. You can have a couple of chances and the score goes. So it depends on who the team that is going to take its chances the most. So I think that, like the lad did indicate, it is a balanced game. It's a 50-50 game. But to stick on my neck, I think that Leo might just edge it.
But Dela, you think so? You go with Leo.
Dortmund look at this and not be happy. For Lille, what they've been able to do at the Signal Iduna Park, not a ground strategy to play. I think they go home and fancy their chances and stick my neck out for them. I think apart from that, the rest are out.
I think it should be unanimous if we are looking at the Villa game.
Of course, Villa is going to qualify. Arsenal is going to qualify. And then
I think the other one that would also
Athletico Madrid.
Yeah.
I
think the boss don't even know what to say.
I would see. Before I am a Chelsea fan, I was a Madrid fan.
So what happened?
Do you understand?
Why you switch allegiances like that?
No, we don't. I don't switch allegiance. I support Madrid, but I support Chelsea more. You understand?
You explain that.
You understand? So, but you see, I don't want the Champions League to become. I don't want the Champions League to become
when it's not difficult for you to see, call a shot or even make a prediction. That's when you start giving theories. You start giving theories and philosophies about the team you used to support, your first love.
Madrid will win, and that's now
it's never going to happen.
Okay, we live to see. We live to see. But
forget it's never going to happen.
This has been the review show at the UEFA Champions League first leg round of games in the round of 16 stage. Arsenal 7, PSV 1. There was a Borussia Dortmund 1, Lille 1. There was Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 3, and then the biggest game of the night was Real Madrid also staying at home, beating Athletico Madrid by 2-1. Don't forget, you can also drop your comments in the comment section what you have to say about the games, which players actually stood out for you, and what you expect from the second leg.